Hello, folks. Welcome back to Bear Clan's Hiking Sedona podcast, episode 34. Today I have two special guests. We're doing a beautiful interview with Chris Birky and Norma Tinoco.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, folks, say hello to everybody for me.
Hello.
Hello.
You can tell the personality differences right away, can you not? Loud and boisterous, quiet and sincere, beautiful.
Oh, sincerity, huh?
All right, folks, so what we've got here is a couple of folks that are relatively new to Sedona, but at the same time, it seems like they've been here for a millennia. Chris and Norma, what I'd like to do is ask you guys first and foremost, what was it that brought you guys to Sedona and how long ago was it?
Great, yeah, so what brought us to Sedona was a heart-shaped leaf that we found in Marina del Rey.
And that's where?
California.
There you go.
And so that heart-shaped leaf, after 2 weeks, led us to Angel Valley Heart Center, and that was 2 years ago. And since then, we've visited probably 6 or 7 times.
Nice. Now, in your visits, Norma, what was the thing that caught your eye when you first hit Sedona? When you first pulled in and saw what we have here, what was it like for you?
The beautiful red rocks. Nature. I love nature.
Yeah, you saw the wilderness and everything.
Yeah.
It's kind of different here, isn't it?
Very different.
Were you expecting that, or were you expecting something like a desert with nothing?
Yep, I think so. I pictured more of just like sand.
The flat desert in
No,
desert.
mountains.
Yeah. And then yet, what is Sedona filled with?
Red rock.
Red rocks,
And sand. Red
mountains.
sand.
We do have sand, yes, we do. Little bits here and there. How about you, Chris? What was it like when you first experienced Sedona?
Yeah, definitely the Red Rocks are an amazing sight to see. But the biggest thing was we got to see Oak Creek right away.
Oh, no kidding, right?
And that really captured me and captured my attention of how beautiful the desert really is. Because, you know, when I hear desert, I see like the rolling hills of the
Sand dunes and
it's like just
coyotes.
never ending sights of that.
Yep.
And that's not what I was met with for sure.
And
Yeah,
no
absolutely.
water.
No water, yeah.
But there is water.
There's definitely water.
Absolutely. I mean, we're what is considered a high desert. That means our elevation isn't normal for a desert, but we do have the desert climate and the desert vegetation that gives us that desert title.
Right.
I mean, if anyone were to never know that this was a desert or in the desert, and let's say Sedona was in Montana,
Yeah.
people would be going, oh, yeah, okay,
Right.
I get it. But because it's here just 2 hours away from Phoenix, 107 million degrees, you end up getting this, oh my gosh, this is so different.
Yeah. Yeah. And one thing also is that in the mornings, there are smells that I've never smelled anywhere else. And I can't capture what it is, but there's smells, and we've traveled all over the country in our RV, and the smells in Sedona in this type of desert are way beyond anything I've ever smelled.
Yeah. So here's the neat trick about Sedona is that we have a lot of weeds, and those weeds are gorgeous flowers. Our weeds along the highway are gorgeous flowers. Our weeds on somebody's property, gorgeous flowers.
Yeah.
So we tend to have these fragrances popping up everywhere all year long because we don't get like freeze outs and
Right.
stuff doesn't die because it's too cold or we've been snowed under for 6 months.
Yeah.
So it's really neat to be able to. That's good that you recognize the
Yeah.
fragrances of Sedona, not
Yeah.
just the visuals.
Yeah, it's
nice.
it's remarkable. I get up usually at 5 a.m. ish, and it's supreme just for the smells.
Yep. So now, with everybody, I always ask the same questions, at least some of them. Did you hike Sedona?
We did. We've done a few hikes. We did Devil's Bridge. We tried Birthing Cave but got lost.
Oh, I have to edit that one out. That's okay. Everybody gets lost on that one. Maybe not, but whatever.
Well, we just
What else did we do?
we don't always do enough research. Sometimes we just kind of wing it. Sometimes we miss the signs, I guess. So
you end up going on a trail and not knowing what it is?
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah, that's us.
Yeah.
So what did you think about the trails or the experiences of, now you're hiking in a place like Sedona, the desert, but yet the trails are so different. Have you been to a place that the trails or the trail views are so ridiculous?
The views, you could do any trail here and the views are just so breathtaking.
Any trail you go on, there's a view that is different than all the others because of the angles, because of the cloud cover.
Right.
When the sun hits it, you get
shadows.
Every day the shadows hit the mountains.
Everything's different every day because
day.
the sun's changing every day, and sometimes there's clouds today, and next year on the same day it might be raining. We don't know.
It's amazing. It's amazing. We have yet to see the rain on the mountains yet.
Right.
So that's something that we're excited about.
Yeah, we're kind of lacking in that monsoon season that we've normally been getting over the last 50 years. The last 3 years, we've had maybe a dozen or so rainy days during our monsoon season, so it's been a little less than stellar. We've also had some issues with wildfires, but that's always been the case as well, even in our monsoon season. Now, you guys were around for one of the wildfires, right?
Yeah.
When it started and you guys left?
We did. We went back to Indiana.
Yeah, we were at Angel Valley Retreat Center that we initially came here for, and it was only like 5 miles away.
Yeah.
But it was really smoky, and I have some asthma, and so it was really affecting me. And so we did go back to Indiana, where I'm from, for a couple months.
Yeah, apparently it cleared up as soon as you guys left.
Yeah. So we were the fire.
Hey. Just saying.
Yeah.
So what kind of things...
Are you telling us we need to go?
Not at all. I would never do that. I would never say that to your face. So guys, what are the things that you do here? Are you working? Are you employed? Are you guys doing anything to earn money? Do you need to? You guys like secretly wealthy and you just haven't told me?
No. I mean, that'd be great. But no, I work 2 jobs in Uptown Sedona, so that keeps me busy.
Yeah, 2 jobs will keep anybody busy.
Yeah.
So we're in the Uptown section, in the heart of Uptown, like on the main street, 89.
Yes,
Yeah, that can be fun. How's your parking?
I mean, it's not too bad because I usually get there before the craziness happens, so it's not too bad. But it's cool. I get to meet different people from like all over the world every day.
Isn't that stellar? We're in a place that is so tiny. When you look at other places in this country, you guys came from LA,
Yeah.
right? Duh, LA, kind of big. So you come to tiny little Sedona, and you end up getting to see people from all over the world. China, Japan, Germany, Sweden, Denmark, Australia. You get people from Mexico, from Canada, you name it.
Everywhere.
This is one of those locations. It's like the Grand Canyon in Arizona. Everyone's going to come and see it now.
Yep.
Cool. How about you, Chris? What do you do?
Yeah, I work online. I do sales online, and I also help at the Angel Valley Retreat Center that we first founded.
Seems to be a little connection there.
Yeah. So Angel Valley Retreat Center has been a major blessing to us. It's where we actually met you.
No way.
No way.
Okay. So tell everybody about that story.
Yeah, so
Selfish plug for me. Woohoo!
So yeah, you live on the Angel Valley premise, and
That's right.
And so we met through visiting here so much, and so after one of the owners tragically left this world for his celebration of life, you were doing his videos, or the setup, and I had done a talk there during that celebration, and at that point we kind of had a little dialogue. We went back to Los Angeles. And then we came back here on another trip, and we found you here, and we just started a relationship from that point.
Yeah. And what would you say that's kind of like for you, Chris?
The relationship part?
Yeah. Don't give them any of the secret stuff.
Yeah, the secret stuff. Wow, we gotta hide that a little bit. It's been an absolute blessing to have been introduced to you and all the gifts that we were able to help each other receive. So I am eternally grateful for it.
Gifting relationship. Absolutely.
Our DD.
Our DD.
Our DD? What is that? What is that for everybody? Tell everybody what that is.
What is the DD?
Our divine dad.
Our divine dad. That's so sweet. That's so sweet. I'm going to get a tattoo now.
Yeah.
It's going to have DD on it.
Yeah, with our beautiful faces
smiling.
Nope. That's where we're at with Sedona now. And we're currently looking for a place. Yeah. It's been a little challenging.
Yeah, how come?
Apparently a lack of homes and a lot of people wanting to move here.
Yes. Everybody wants to live here and nobody has the room to be able to live here.
Yeah.
that says a lot about Sedona. It says a lot about Sedona's growth over the last 10 years or so, and it's unfortunate that it isn't in an abundance, but it also lets you know that this is a special place, and then it's, if you're going to be here, you've been blessed with the right scenario that brings you here.
That's right. Yeah. Yep. And so we've been searching for like a month now, and we got some really hot opportunities that we're looking to step into.
Excellent.
That we've been gifted. So I think it's gonna unfold perfectly.
So what do you think it is about Sedona that people, I mean, the obvious is the views, right? Duh, the views. The Sedona Red Rocks are just ridiculous. But what is it other than that? If you were to give Sedona something else, and let's say the rocks weren't here, what would there be here that you wouldn't necessarily find anywhere else?
For me personally, I was telling somebody this the other day actually at one of my jobs, because she asked me the same question, and I said, it just feels like home.
There you go.
The energy, the people, it's home.
That's exactly what my thought was my first moment in Sedona. I was hiking Bell Rock, the first thing I ever did in Sedona. First thing in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm up on Bell Rock. And that's what I felt, that's what I heard, that's what was given to me.
Yep.
It was welcome home, in a place I had never been before in this lifetime.
Key point.
What?
This lifetime.
This lifetime, exactly. Because Sedona's been here a lot longer than I have, so I'm guessing I might have been connected somehow in the past.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
There's a magic to this place.
There's magic.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be woo-woo or, psychic stuff. It's just one of those things that when you open your window in the morning and you're visiting and you look out and just see this is something that nowhere else on the earth can you be in the middle of and be able to actually go out and play in.
Yeah.
You have so many opportunities to experience it, and then just to be able to see that insane beauty. Sunrises are just as intense as sunsets are. It doesn't make a difference. All year round, it's just insane gorgeous. Now, you guys haven't been here for a winter yet, correct?
No, this is going to be our first
Holy
time.
mackerel. So, have you heard about winters in Sedona?
A little bit. I'm a little nervous because I get cold really quick. But
No way, that LA heat thing?
LA spoiled.
LA spoiled for sure.
Well, I'll tell you two things. First thing, our typical Sedona winter no longer exists because over the last 2-3 years, we've gone through some changes. So anything is possible. We used to have, a light dusting of snow. Maybe one day out of the winter would give us 3, 4, 5 inches of snow, and then it would melt by noon and it would be gone. But lately, we've been experiencing these neat little snowstorms that I used to get when I was living in the Northeast.
Wow.
So it's changed a little bit. We've had 12 inches on a day, January 1st, 2019.
12 inches, that's a lot.
Yeah,
about a foot of snow in one evening. From December 31st, you wake up in the morning and there's a foot of snow on the ground.
Wow.
So those phenomenon happen on occasion, but who knows what's coming next. So you have a fireplace in that place you're gonna get?
I hope.
Yeah.
I really hope.
Yeah.
Man.
It'll be interesting because it
What
does
are
get
temperatures like usually?
Okay, so usual temperatures, it'll probably get around 40, 35 degrees at the coldest at night. That's historical, but again, the last couple of years have been different. And during the day, it's usually going to be 55, 60, and it's going to be gorgeous. Typical Sedona.
Yeah.
However, last winter, just to make it interesting for you, last winter we had probably the coldest winter and the longest coldest winter we've had on record. So it started in November when I put up our greenhouse. It started at the middle of November, and it didn't stop till about middle of April.
Thanks.
Wow.
Yeah, but it was cold. It wasn't snowy.
Right.
It was
So
just
what
cold.
was the lowest?
The lowest was too low for you to want to hear it. I'm not going to. It didn't get to 0 or anything like that, but it did get to freezing. I mean, we had freeze outs, and we had to do a little extra care in our greenhouse to make sure our vegetation didn't get cooled down.
Is that the heater thing that you
Yeah, we put the heater in
improvised
Yep.
with? Nice.
You do what you got to do to save your food.
That's right.
So it was important.
I need to get myself one of those portable heaters.
Yes, the jacket heaters. Maybe like a blanket that's electric and battery operated.
Yeah.
I strongly suggest you do that.
We have a lot of hot hands, so those will be
Right.
used.
hot hands in the
Put 'em in the
sneakers and the
jacket.
socks.
The socks, yeah.
And your armpits.
Yeah, exactly. She's gonna tape them all around her stomach.
Everybody's a little taped across.
A hot hand belt.
Fashionable.
Right.
You should create that.
Ooh. All right, none of you, it's already copyrighted. By the time this podcast is out, it's copyrighted. It's owned by Chris and Norma. So if you were to see somebody, well, Norma, you're already experienced that being in the retail part of Sedona. If you were to see somebody, let's say you guys traveled again to Indiana, or you went to Tennessee or something like that, and you saw somebody and you told them about Sedona, what would be the words or some of the words you could use to help them understand what this is like?
I've used magical and healing very often.
Magical healing?
Yeah, and home. 'Cause
And home,
to
yeah, of
me,
course.
It's home. Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Chris?
I would say it is the biggest amplifier I've ever been in.
And explain that a little bit.
Meaning, I have been. I'm in the spiritual world. I want to heal. Like, I'm healing aspects of myself.
Right.
Since I've been here, it's amplified that ability to heal.
Right.
Just as much as when I'm resistant to it, it also amplifies that also. So if you have a lot of junk
Yep.
in the trunk, metaphorically,
Yep.
then I think that it's a difficult place to be if you're not willing.
Ah, there you go. That's the key.
Yeah, if you're not willing. Because it's, there's been times where I've just been like, oh my gosh, I need to leave here because it's just been super intense. It just amplifies everything that's happening.
Right.
But then I've also been like, oh my gosh, this is just incredible.
Yeah.
So I would say it's an amplified field of, I don't know what it is.
Energy or
Energy.
feelings or emotion
Yeah.
or consciousness, however you want to.
Amplified
Yep.
is the word.
Yeah. It's been known and it's always been proven scientifically for certain levels of magnetic polarities and stuff like that Sedona is different than any place in the world because of the amount of changes that happen in the terrain that's here. And Sedona, by the way, the city of Sedona is only 19.2 square miles in size. That means the residents, what we live in. But the Sedona itself is about 101 square miles of red rocks and formations that'll just completely blow your mind. Now, in all of that, there's that magic of Sedona, that energy that Sedona poses, and Chris was kind of on the mark with it. It's an amplification. If you're coming here to heal and you have a lot of trauma in your life, if you're not willing to address that trauma and to try and heal from it, this trauma will magnify itself and make it a very difficult time. I've known people that have come out here for a week with their intention of being here for a week and leaving like 12 hours after just stepping foot in Sedona because something didn't feel right for them. That's probably because they weren't prepared for it. They weren't ready. They might not have asked the right questions to the right people or to the wrong people for that matter.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the people of Sedona, how have you guys received them or how have they received you?
Yeah, I would say that I have been, like Norma mentioned earlier, home. And what home brings to me is friends and people that support you and individuals. But again, it comes to that willingness of willing to receive people.
Right.
And people are more than willing to give if you're open to receive.
Right.
And so, but I also have experienced other individuals that have, like, people that have just gotten here, and it's been the total opposite effect. Mm-hmm. And it's just been like a total rejection, or just not wanting to be here anymore.
Right.
So I think that, if you're open, then Sedona invites you in.
Yeah.
But if you're not, then it's like
Kicks you out.
real fast.
I've said that, and a lot of the folks that I've interviewed on these podcasts have also said the exact same thing. We all know it. We've all felt it. The people that are here, that have been here for more than a month, are people that have felt it and accepted it and said, that's exactly what it needs to feel like for me. This is exactly the place where I want to spend time. The Grand Canyon, I'm not knocking the Grand Canyon. I love that place. That's spectacular. That is, in your words, Chris, that's an epic location.
It is.
But it isn't the same as Sedona. Sedona is the place that you want to come and visit again. The Grand Canyon is all right, I checked that off the bucket list. It's one of the 7 wonders of the world. Okay, so now I got it. What are the other 6 that I got to go? But Sedona is wow, this is actually like a little playground for us adults to be able to come out We can hike, we can play golf, we can mountain bike, we can go swimming. We've got a creek that has incredible amount of swimming holes and water spots. It's got incredible stargazing. You know, I mean, it's got everything that people would want to be a part of. It just takes that select, like Chris was saying, the openness or the willingness to receive it as the home that it shows you.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people struggle with that, and then they say, well, that's too much like home. And a lot of people have had bad home experiences. Therefore, they're not going to dig the Sedona home.
Exactly. Yeah.
I've also had people ask me why I would move here if there's no young life here.
Oh,
There's
the nightlife or stuff like that? And what's your answer?
And I was like, well, that's not my intention.
Right?
I came here because I love connecting to nature and my healing process. I feel like I left that nightlife and city life and drinking life, partying, all that behind, and it's like, this is home. It's not... I'm not here to party and go backwards.
Right. There it is. That's the key, right? You don't want to go backwards. You're working on going forwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's important for people to know is when it's dark, we're done. That's the way it is. It's like the lights are out. We are a dark sky community, which means we don't have many street lights. We don't have many lights at all anywhere except on the houses. And we do that intentionally because everybody that lives here really greatly appreciates the silence. We appreciate the stargazing. We appreciate listening to the coyotes howling off in the distance or whatever sounds that nature's providing us. So we love it to the point where we don't want lights.
Yeah, and the stars. Oh my gosh. It's breathtaking.
Yeah.
We sometimes just sit outside and put a blanket down and just look up for hours. And you can't get enough of it.
Yeah.
You just can't.
It's like it gives you a different view of what's out in space. I grew up in the Northeast, so there were a lot of trees. So there wasn't a lot of wide open views. You'd have to go to like a big park or a baseball field or sports recreation field to be able to do this. But for at home, you're surrounded by trees. I'm not saying it was bad. I was just saying that's what it was. So that's all I knew. So when I came to Sedona, that was one of the biggest, most impressive things. When I went on a hike and I did an overnight and camped out, I wasn't sleeping in my tent.
Yeah.
I'd take the sleeping bag. I was out on the rocks and I was just with my face just constantly watching.
Yep.
Because you see everything.
It's incredible. Shooting star. I think one night we walked for like an hour.
Oh, there was so many shooting stars.
How many did we see? Maybe 5 to 10 in an hour.
Yep.
Shooting stars just.
And they're not like, some of them are not small. We're getting these major things that are crossing the atmosphere and just burning up for what seems like for hours.
Literally.
Yeah, and you get those tails that are just ridiculous.
It's incredible. The nightlife, in another sense, is so epic.
Yeah, this is the nightlife of Sedona. That's why there's not really a nightlife. It's not designed for the party folks. It's designed for the people that just want to experience.
Yeah.
Nice. Anything else you guys want to add?
Hiking, man. Any hike you go to,
yeah,
is for me just an experience that is never the same.
Right.
Not because of just the views, but because of the nature of each trail.
Yep.
There's different plant life.
Yeah.
That you get to experience even just like a couple miles away from each other.
Right.
And so each trail is totally different.
Yep.
In the plant life, what you experience, and all of it.
The ecosystem here is insanely diverse.
Yeah.
And I've been across the country too, and I've hiked a lot of places around this country, and this totally captured me.
For sure.
I mean, the ecosystem on the top of the highest point on Wilson Mountain, 7,200 feet and change. That is totally different than what it is down here at the base, where we're at 4,000 feet.
Yep.
Okay, so that's you're talking 3,000 and change feet elevation, and you get like 5 different levels of transformations as you go up.
For sure.
So, and that happens, you go down into the creeks, you go further into the canyons, and you're seeing a completely changed environment as well.
Yeah, it's quite remarkable to witness the different changes. And another thing I was also really surprised with is how much wildlife is in the desert.
Surprise!
Yeah.
Mountain lions,
coyotes, javelinas. If you haven't heard about that, listen to one of my other podcasts. Javelinas are just this unique creature that looks and behaves like a wild boar, but is its own little entity. It's called a collared peccary. If you look that up, feel free to look it up and you'll get an idea as to one of the craziest looking creatures that roam around Sedona in the back streets as well as around by wherever your house and home is.
Yeah, I'm from Indiana, so I got to see scorpions, tarantulas. Like I only saw those on TV.
Yeah, you got up and close to a couple of snakes, right? The gopher snake.
Gopher snake.
Scared the heck out of us both at the moment.
Yeah. I got to see my first rattlesnake the other day.
Yeah, got pictures of it on the road. That was nice.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
It's a diverse little tiny place.
It really is.
Like I said, 19.2 square miles of living is not that much.
No.
And then 101 square miles of red rocks in the forest land.
It's a pretty cool place.
Yeah. Yep.
Pretty cool place.
It's awesome to be able to understand how, a lot of people also have fear of wildlife and living within wildlife, but they don't understand it's actually not that scary.
No, it doesn't have to be. Nothing in life has to be scary. It's whether we choose it to be. That fear that we have inside us and what do we need to do about it. So here's a neat story. Laura Lee used to be terrified of spiders. Like it was the thing on the planet Earth that would just flip her right out. So she did a couple of things to change out of that, to get rid of her fears, is she bought and took care of a tarantula.
Oh,
in a tarantula glass, whatever they call them, terrariums or something.
Yeah.
And so it was a really nice, big, fat, juicy female with attitude. But it was something that you could pick up and put on your hand.
Yeah.
Because that's the funny thing about tarantulas is they really do appreciate the warmth of the human hand. As long as you don't do anything quick and stupid, then they'll be gentle and docile. So she did that, and then I taught her the definition of relocation. Instead of destruction and squishing and panicking, it was like, you know what, let's just put it in another container and bring it somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's all we have to do. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, the diversity that's here in Sedona is not just on the outside, it's on the inside, but it's also the creatures that we have. The humans as well.
Yeah.
And it's when like the animals and the humans share the same land and
Symbiotic.
they respect each other and respect each other's space.
The relationship of man and animal, so to speak.
That's so neat. Instead of like, because in LA, everyone is scared to go hiking by themselves because it's like, oh, you might see coyote or...
Right, because coyote are going to eat everybody, right?
Yeah.
Coyote, I've been around a lot of coyotes. They don't want to eat us at all. They just want us to be out of their way so they can get the rabbits and the squirrels.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean that they wouldn't.
Yeah.
It just means you got to be smart about it.
Yeah, so it's a cool experience to come from living in the city to having a total different perspective of being able to live with the wildlife and not be afraid of them.
There you go.
Yeah.
Living together. Cats and dogs living together. It's a beautiful thing. All right, guys, thank you very much for your time. I greatly appreciate you guys, even beyond this podcast. Of course, I love you guys tremendously. You are part of my heart as well. So it's a beautiful thing, and I'm so appreciative that you guys actually wanted to do this podcast with me. So thank you very much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Yes.
That's what I do. I love it. I love sharing the love. Folks, thank you very much as well for listening in to another interesting episode, another interview from Bear Clan Sedona Hiking Podcast. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Talk to you next time.